Hey, I'm you. Emergency video, cause what the hell? As we know, the version 11 update for Splatoon 3 comes out in the US on January 28th. The patch notes got released today and I am a little worried. Let's get into it. The biggest change in this update is the new feature Flow Aura. It is essentially a kill streak power-up that gives you run speed, swim speed, ink resistance, and intensify action buffs on top of painting the floor under you with each kill. These areas of paint seem to be around the same size of the floor painted when someone is splatted, if not a little bit bigger. Sounds good, right? Well, I have some concerns on this matter. First of all, this just makes the game less casual friendly. Chances are, A, people are going to be pushed back into spawn and have no escape with an absolutely massive 30-second duration on top of potentially scaring new players from playing or picking up the game. Or, B, people will see this as a cool new feature and rush in to get it, only to end up feeding the enemy and just making the match a virtual 3v4. Now, this change is not entirely bad. I can see how it can serve as a chance to break choke points and advance to the objective. With these added buffs, it makes me wonder how it could change the way we organize gear. What kind of builds could be used to account for what is essentially tacticooler light? On the topic of cooler, I do have a question. With 4 of the 7 supplied buffs being given, how will this impact the amount of usage we have for this special? Of course, it is still one of the best specials the game has to offer, but now we're in a position where we could possibly maneuver without being as necessary to high skill levels. I'm not a comp player, and I'm not going to claim to be one, but my point still stands for what this feature can mean for the future usage of Tacticooler. I mean, will the effects of Aura Flow and Cooler stack? If so, can any other specials mix with it? Zipcaster, Crab Tank, do they benefit? I'd also like to know if it could be obtained by exclusively getting assists. One time I had all my kills stolen. Just completely, it sucked. Every single one got turned into an assist. Fuck. I think it would just be fair, if not rewarding for being trash for the game. But, you know, if you're cracked, you're cracked. Enough said. Also, I'm a bit curious if this is going to be incorporated into Salmon Run, but I kind of doubt it. It seems kind of OP. Moving on. Our next addition are health bars. This change kind of came out of nowhere, but I can't say it's unwelcome. As Dude stated in his video, it'll help clear up some confusion as to why your attacks didn't kill someone. And he's very right. For Nintendo, this is a big step in the direction towards quality of life improvements. It's super useful for every level of play, not just the beginners. I hope this serves as a positive precedent for the future of quality of life improvements in Splatoon. For team communication, this is an absolute blessing. You have an even better time knowing the status of your team and you can act accordingly. This is especially great for solo queue, where you only have 3 options to get the attention of your teammates. I only hope that there will be an option to toggle the bar on and off, since I find it pretty aesthetically displeasing and it doesn't really fit in the art style that Splatoon uses and presents to us as a series. It feels like they're starting to lean into some aspects that other shooters with bigger fan bases have. I'm also curious if the health bar will scale with distance. Like, if you shoot someone from afar, will the bar be far away or will it just not show up at all? Next, we have some changes towards hitboxes. While the kid form for the player doesn't have any changes, squid form has a slight reduction to the hitbox that makes it lower to the ground. Obviously, this does make it harder for you to hit your shots, but this is more of a skill issue situation than anything. On the weapon side, we have changes on the Splattershot Junior, Splattershot, and the E-Liter 4K scope. The shooter weapons have gotten improvements to their hitboxes while shooting at kid form players, while the E-Liter now apparently has it harder to hit people when they're in swim form. I don't know if it's only towards these weapons, but we'll see when the update comes out. These are supposed to be changes to promote closer range combat, but with the range that the Splattershot has, I feel like the range of the Splattershot will leave people staying in the back and using that range to get kills. For the last of the biggest changes, one of the strongest gear abilities has had a change. I, of course, am talking about Stealth Jump. Instead of going at the same airtime of a regular super jump, it now has an increased airtime. This change only affects airtime, not launch speed. I say this is a pretty interesting change. It's not bad by any means. Honestly, I see it as a positive. You get more time to analyze the battle as you jump in and act accordingly. Just like Dude also said, this can provide more leeway when the enemies are constantly jumping into the front, so there's a little bit of a choke point balancing for the defenders. Although it's a fair change, I feel like the enemy team will have an easier time spotting the player in the air, but we'll see what happens when we actually get the update. As for the rest of the patch notes, we have some weapon adjustments. The L3 nozzle nose lines have had a shot speed increase of 24% and an impact radius decrease of 15%. The dynamo rolls have had an increase of spray droplets from horizontal and vertical flicks. The damage falloff has had a buff to allow for 100 damage at longer distances, and ink cost for flicks has been increased to 17%. The blaster line's firing penalty has been capped at 1/30th of a second. The H3 nozzle nose line has had its max damage output increased by 1, from 44 to 45. I'm sure this is a very big change to H3 nozzle nose mains. The Splat roller line has had its ink recovery timer after flicking reduced by 1/30th of a second. The heavy Splatling line has had the ink splatter radius from shots increased by 12%, and impact radius painting has been increased by 12% as well. Tetrajulius have had their shot speed increased by 19%. Splat Brellas have reduced their ink consumption when firing by 9%. S-Blast has had its explosion radius on jump mode reduced by 11%. For the only special change this update, Reef's Letter has had its radius of 220 damage increased by 20% with no change to the 70 damage radius. The center point of the explosion has been raised a little bit to account for the entire explosion being blocked by tiny obstacles. The inking radius of the explosion has been reduced by 7%, and the range of the special's path has been reduced by 19%. For special points, we've had some changes to our amounts. Squiffer is finally getting some attention and its charge reduced to 190%. ZF and ZF Scope have had their specials reduced to 200 points. Tri-Slosher got some bullshit and had its special reduced to 200 points. We love to see easy weapons getting massive buffs. Sloshing Machine has had its special points reduced to 210. Splatter Shot is 190, S-Blast is 210, and Mini Splatling is 200. The rest is just Splatnet 3 stuff, but I don't really care about that, so I'm not going to cover it. Now, I do have some comments on these changes. For one, I think that the movement change wasn't very necessary for blasters, but maybe that's just me being a Squiffer main. On the topic of Squiffer, it's very nice to see that it's finally getting some love, but it's only the strongest and most aggressive kit that's getting some attention. This is kind of setting a clear message that Nintendo is going to keep the direction of Splatoon 3 one of aggressive gameplay. It's made even more apparent by Tetris getting some more love as well. They are one of the most aggressive weapons in the game, on top of that stupid Tri-Slosher buff that nobody asked for. At least my favorite special got a buff. It might be a little bit more viable now. Who knows, maybe I'm biased. Well, those are all the changes the update brings. I have to say, I'm a little disappointed with the amount of content we got. It's a brand new version skipping past 10, and all we have is Super Saiyan Aura. We as a community wanted so many things, we didn't get it. And to make it worse, these updates leaning towards aggressive playstyles will only deter casual players, keeping the community small. I hope I'm exaggerating with this. I really do. I care about this game a lot, and I want to see it grow and flourish. I'm just frustrated at how Nintendo has been treating my favorite franchise, but only time will tell. We have Splatoon Raiders coming up, I don't know when, but whatever happens, happens. So, that's all I have to say for the video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, just leave a comment. I really hope I'm bugging with the stuff I'm saying about this deterring new players, but I don't know. Leave your opinion. I'd like to hear what you guys think. Also, let me know what you guys want to see in the future. I have a new Smash video coming up. It's gonna take a minute, but you know, whatever happens, happens. Alright, that's all. Bye-bye.